Hello and welcome, my name is Bubba Fabes and welcome to another guide. With the introduction of Blood Orchid comes a new stat reset for everyone's rank, thus giving you guys the opportunity to reach that rank that you guys just couldn't hit last season. And I am here today to provide you guys the tips and tricks necessary for you to help get that rank. So before I get into the real tips and tricks, there's one thing I want you guys to understand. If you want to get into that next set of ranks, for example, if you're a gold and you want to get into the plat, there's one thing that you must know first, and this is the habits. It's habits that define the player and really set him in certain positions of their rank. For example, there are the gold habits that players have in gold because they play with other golds and it works. But those habits aren't going to transfer and don't work in plat because of the higher skill, the higher reaction time, and just the harder opponents that you will face in plat. Thus, you must take on and start learning and see what it takes to be in plat by seeing those habits in that rank. So that is what is required, and hopefully these tips and tricks and the habits that you will acquire by practicing these will help give you guys the boost to get into that next rank that you're looking for. The first tip of this video is going to be use your other senses. As you get to higher levels, you're going to have to rely less on your visual sense, so you're going to have to rely more on your audio sense, and the audio in this game is done really well, and in fact maybe a little bit too well. The fact that you can hear players running around, you can hear so much different noise that gives you so much information on what the opponents are doing, and use that to your advantage. And this also makes barbed wire at higher levels the best gadget a defender can use, because the amount of noise that it makes for an attacker to run on it, you can put it down certain hallways and stuff. That way you don't have to reveal yourself to hold an angle. Once you hear an attacker run over it, all you have to do is just peek that angle and pre-fire, and you know you will get a direct hit on it. This also goes for Legion's new gadget, because he can see when it gets destroyed, and that allows you to know exactly where an operator is without actually seeing him. Now I'll give you guys a good quick example and a mistake that this operator made. I'll be quiet and you can hear him.
Sensor activated.
You can hear him jump down onto that ledge, and then you can hear as he puts his breaching charge on the window. The audio cue was so loud for me, it made for an easy kill. That's the other quick tip. Don't put a breaching charge on a window or a door if you don't have to. Unless you're hot breaching or something, use your gun, do it from a distance, and you will avoid getting killed like that. Now, adding this into tip number 2, as they both go hand in hand, is to always pre-fire. As you can see, I'm relying on Legion. I can see that an operator is down on those stairs. I'm going to quick peek, giving myself just a little bit of information without holding myself vulnerable, and now I'm going to pre-fire those spots and then change my angle to avoid being pre-fired on that same spot myself. As an attacker at a higher level, the reason I'm not going to hold my head in that window waiting for him to appear for himself is that he's going to do the exact same thing. He's going to come up those stairs and without even thinking, just pre-fire that spot. So if I was just going to sit there and wait for him, I'd be instantly dead, because that's exactly what he would do. So hop around and pre-fire a little bit, and this is where I failed to use my gadgets. I did down him, and I can see I have 2 impact grenades, which would have definitely guaranteed the kill on that one operator down there, but instead the friend used his C4 and was able to get those kills there. So again, I'm going to replace that charge and hide again, not revealing myself, and waiting for these audio cues. As you can see, I'm surrounded by barbed wire and my gas grenades, so I'm just waiting for someone to reveal themselves and then pre-fire the position that they are in. As you may have guessed, tip number 3 is going to be use your gadgets, use your abilities, use everything you have to win the round. They can be super useful, and there's no way you should end the round and still have all of your gadgets intact. If that's the case, you did it wrong. As you can see here, I am using everything I have, especially now Smoke. Smoke's got a fantastic buff, and you can't see through them, so they're very useful. I completely blocked off that one site. Now I'm going to block off my back as I take care of the other site. It's cutting off complete lines of sight. Now just another example of pre-firing spots. didn't know where he was, but I'm going to shoot on all the locations where I think that he might be. And finally, I was able to get that right spot, and he had no chance, even though he was holding that angle and waiting for me. So remember, pre-fire your spots and use all of your gadgets, especially the power of smokes that you have right now. They're so much better. Use those flashbangs, everything at your disposal to guarantee that win. For my next tip, this is going to be to drone wisely. Way too often do people abuse their drones and not use them to the full potential. Way too often, starting off the round, people go and try to find the bomb site or whatever site it is and drone it out and spot it. At this point in the game, there's no reason why you should spot the site. You should know exactly where it is, and driving your drone into the center of where everyone's running around, they're going to try to shoot your drone, especially at a high level, because they know how powerful a drone can be. Don't get your drone killed. Instead, put your drone exactly where you plan on entering the building, because the proper way to drone is before you enter the building, drone the immediate room, and then whatever interaction might happen outside of it. So like just outside the doors, where a defender might quickly come into that place once they hear you start entering. So drone up the immediate area, get yourself in, boom, hop back on your drone, then you drone the next section of where you plan on going, the immediate area, as well as the quick surrounding areas around it to make sure that no one's going to have instant access. And then you just slowly do that, drone yourself into sections until you find someone, and then you can interact with them. So remember to drone wisely and make use of both drones. Another tip is, now that you can have two active at once, is if you have good communication with someone on your team, set one up to watch to have eyes behind you, especially when most of your team is dead. You can have eyes on your back as well as continually droning yourself forward. So keep that in mind. Have someone watch your back with a second drone. Now, quickly ignoring that really bad aim earlier and focusing back on the drone, I had someone watching the stairs on my back, and now I'm going to re-drone my next phase of entering. I can tell that this entire room is going to be safe. I know someone's down in red. Garage is covered by another friend attacker, and here's Valkyrie I know sitting in there. I know I can drop down this hatch pretty quickly and avoid being shot. And then I'm going to move my way in pretty safely and confront Valkyrie. And I go, Valkyrie's unexpected. There was no barbed wire. I knew everything that was going to happen, and now I'm continually aiming, waiting for the next interaction. My teammates finally work their way up to me, and I know it's safe to drone the next phase, the next movement that I'm going to make. Now this clip is going to lead me into my next tip, and this is to always be ready. And this kind of comes down to always be ADS, be more ready than the other player. Way too often do people die running around corners unexpectedly, and if the other player, especially at higher levels, because the reaction time is so quick, if the other person is even just a little bit more ready than you are, you're going to die. So as you can see there, I got that first kill because I turned the corner while I was ADS, and the other person should have known that we were all around in this area. If he was a little bit more ready, if he was ADS, it would have been more of a fair fight, but he ran around the corner and I lit him up. Now watching this guy, and we'll see how he acts. He comes across a corner where chances are someone's going to be. He's already halfway around the corner before he goes ADS, and then he drops out of it. It's not much, but at a higher level it's plenty enough to get himself killed. Now to talk about my final tip, and this is probably one of the hardest habits to break, because this habit follows people through Call of Duty and Battlefield, and it's one that I struggle with myself, and it is to not reload. And it sounds weird, but when you get in an intense situation, it comes down to clutch and there's people all around you. Reloading, it takes a couple of seconds, and that is plenty of time to get yourself killed, because you can't react, you can't respond, you can't return fire while you're in the reload animation like that. You put yourself at a disadvantage, and with a game that headshots are king, you can get a couple of kills with just a couple of bullets. So yes, accuracy does come with it, but practice getting into situations and not automatically reloading, and you'll be surprised how many other interactions you get. You might put up a fair fight, you're able to return fire and get that kill. So this is going to be a really good example of what not to do. As you can see, I'm even running with Yin, so I have 81 bullets. I'm used to running with Habano for 21, but you can see how this plays out. I come in, and I shoot a bunch of bullets and I get a kill. Now, if I pause the video, you can see how many bullets I still have. Now, working to adapt to my playstyle, I thought that I was pretty much running out of bullets. Now, instead of reloading, I did the next best thing and I took out my pistol. So if you are low on bullets, your pistol is the best option for you to go to. And you see I did get a kill right after that. But learning this whole reload thing, if I just kept on with my main gun, I would have been able to finish off both of those kills easily, because I had a lot of trouble getting the final shots on that other guy with my pistol. Just couldn't land the shot on him, and that would have made the big difference. So learn the reloads a little bit, figure that out, and that'll be a really strong difference in your gameplay, allowing you to progress through a few kills in a row. Well guys, that is it for today's tips and tricks. I hope that you find them helpful. If you did, go ahead and let me know down below. Let me know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to click that like button. For those of you who haven't already, don't forget to click subscribe. That'll keep you up to date on all the upcoming tips and tricks and guides that I'll be releasing, as well as just gameplay footage for your enjoyment. So until next time, my friends, I hope you have a good day, and I will see you later.